Solar can never be as good as electricity no matter how much you invest in it. A lot of people still have this belief in 2026. So in today's video, we are going to analyze everything. Then I'm going to let you viewers decide at the end of this video, which one do you think is better between the public grid and solar. For starters, let's start with power quality. Which one protects your appliances better and which one damages your appliances faster? The public grid is a very pure sine wave signal, which is very suitable for appliances and heavy duty machines. For other properties that the public grid contains are lags, spikes, and harmonics. Now you might be thinking, what is lag, spike? To simply put, you know when NEPA brings light and your TV just go poof, then you have to call your electrician to help you take it to the radio unit or whatever. That is caused because of high voltage from NEPA or the public grid. And you know when your freezer, maybe it has worked for 6 hours and it's not freezing, then they will advise you, your electrician will probably advise you, okay, you need to get a stabilizer, that is low voltage, which we can say is lag. So those things are there and there's nothing you can do about it. You can just manage them. Harmonics, let's not go there now. Solar inverter, on the other hand, is also a very pure sine wave signal, but it doesn't have lag, spikes, or whatever. There are times that we used to have modified sine wave inverters, but those are back in those days, not anymore. Now we just have pure sine wave inverters. If you see any company that is still using a modified sine wave inverter, they are still back in those days. So right now we have pure sine wave inverters. They don't have lags, they don't have spikes, no harmonics, nothing. So you cannot get low voltage or high voltage. You get a standard programmable 230 volts. And if you are not in Nigeria, maybe in the US, in some places, in some region, they are 110 volts. The moment the inverter is programmed to 230 or 110 volts, it can never go below it. It can never go above it. So you get your constant 220 or 230 volts or 110 volts. If you are doubting me, I will challenge you to do this. Run your freezer. If your freezer has stabilizer, remove the stabilizer, plug it directly to a wall outlet, run it for 5 hours straight on public grid. Then that same freezer, maybe after it defrozes, run it on inverter for 5 hours straight. Now compare the results. When you were running it on grid, which one freezes faster? Is it when you were running it on grid or when you were running on inverter? And which one freezes more? Then which one defrozes faster? Is it when you are running it on grid or when you are running it on inverter? And you verify my point of high voltage, low voltage on grid and constant voltage on inverter. The second one, load capacity mix. Solar cannot run my AC, solar does not run in the night, solar does not have surge. No. The only reason why solar is not running AC is because you are doing a solar that is on budget. Solar can run a whole community. In fact, solar can run the whole of a country. If that's not true, what is Aso Rock planning? I think they've already done it. Aso Rock is currently running on solar. How many ACs are in Aso Rock? I'm sure we can't even count it unless you go and check the footprint or whatever it is. What kind of machine or machinery do you want that is not in Aso Rock? So if that place can run on solar, what makes you think solar cannot run ordinary AC? I'm sure the ACs in that Aso Rock cannot be less than 1,000. So why will you say solar cannot run AC? The next one is reliability. Who is in control? Public grid users are the mercy of Yakubu in control room. You can decide to on it whenever he likes and you can decide to off it whenever he likes. And for people that has mouth, they can just phone Yakubu, hello, I need light for this hour. Then they will take you off the face and they will give it to the chairman. So you are at the mercy of Yakubu. You can do whatever it is likes based on instruction. Solar users, on the other hand, are the ones in control. They get to turn on their inverter when they like and turn it. Even if your system is only offering 6 hours backup, you can decide to use 2 hours from the backup now, then turn it off at your own convenient time. Turn it off, go out, come back whenever you like. Okay, maybe when I want to sleep, I want to use another 3 hours. You turn it on. You see, there is something about you controlling, okay, you know that I have this amount of bank. I'm just saying, even if you're on a low budget system, normally when you're on solar, you should be able to run it for 24 hours. But let's say you just go for the budget one that cannot give you 24 hours, just few hours of backup. So you can still control it. You get to turn it on when you like, you turn it off when you like. You're not at anybody's masses, just your mass. Then the next ones are the we can't turn on everything on solar and leave it running.
Wait, what?
Why do you want to turn on everything on solar and leave it running? Why can't you be disciplined that if you are not in the living room, turn off the lights, turn off the TV. If you are in the bedroom, turn on the lights, turn on the TV. If you are not in the hallway, turn off the lights. Why do you want to turn on everything and leave it working? Because you want to turn on everything, that is why you are covered. That's why most Nigerians are looking for ways to bypass their prepaid meter. Because you are not disciplined on how to manage your power. If you are power discipline, trust me, you don't need to bypass your prepaid meter. It will work for you just fine. But because you want to turn on everything, I feel like yes, everything is on. I'm on NEPA. Then it backfires to your prepaid. Solar is just the same thing. It's not that you cannot turn on everything. You can turn on everything, but you backfire somewhere also, which is your battery. So instead of complaining that you cannot turn on everything, practice power discipline. Turn off what is supposed to be turned off when you are not in use of it, and turn on what is supposed to be turned on when you are not in use of it. And lastly, the financial aspects. People will be like, solar is expensive, but I bet you, have you compared it with people that have electricity, like real band A users, like people that have at least 23 hours of power supply in 24 hours? Go and compare it. For people that are a real band A user, if you are using maybe like two ACs, maybe you run two AC from morning to night, compare your total prepaid unit. How much are you spending annually? Now multiply like times 3 years. Then compare it with a setup that can also give you that AC that you are running, that two AC that you are running. Then check the longevity. How many years will solar give you? For 3 years of your prepaid costs. Now, that same amount you spent in 3 years, if you put it in a solar, what will it get you? And for how long are you going to use that system? Which I'm sure is nothing less than 10 years. And you've exhausted that same amount in 3 years with public grid. So when you do the analysis, you discover that it is the startup for solar setup that is expensive. But in long time, you realize that it is actually way cheaper than public grid. So with everything said, what do you still think? Do you still believe that public grid or solar can never be as good as electricity? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. I will address whatever concern you might be having again. Hi everyone, my name is Bashir from Itel, and I'm the Chiefsurgeon. Catch you guys in the next one.